Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. If this video at all becomes intense, I'm apologizing now. There is no script. For those of you who don't know, I don't do scripts. It's literally just like me talking the entire time. Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? I'm really sorry to tell you that the answer is yes. You've missed the entire train. You should probably just quit at this point and never actually look back. It's probably best if you, I want to say like go crawl into a hole or something, or just maybe unplug the internet and just never. We are currently witnessing the largest shift in money, in energy, in power, in wealth that the world has ever experienced. Ever. We are currently seeing money go from pieces of paper with ink on them to something that we swipe a card, to something that is literally like on our computers that we control. I believe that over the course of 2025, or I hope over the course of 2025, that this becomes far more apparent to a lot of people. We get news constantly every 24 hours about the accumulation of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency assets by the richest people on the planet. Current estimates are putting Bitcoin's price, and I'm using this as an amalgamation, a combination of multiple things that we've heard from about 35 different analysts on this channel, the other channel, and in the news in general. The expectations are, now hear my words and hear them as best as you possibly can. Bitcoin is probably poised in some form or fashion to take over the US dollar. Bitcoin is going to overtake the market cap of gold. It's going to. This isn't an idea. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't like a maybe in 100 years. We are going to see within the next 3 years, if not less, Bitcoin will take over the entire market cap of gold, and gold will begin to diminish. A lot of this sounds insane. I said that in another video before. And it's because a lot of people haven't been in this market for as long as I have. And not that I've even been here the entirety of it, but it's reaching around 9 years at this point that I've actually been. No, it's more than that. It's way more than that I've actually been in this market. I've seen all the changes. I've seen the movements. I've seen the companies. And what we're experiencing right now is absolutely out of line insane. There are expectations that this year, up until the year 2029, we are going to see $1 million plus Bitcoin. The expectations for the year 2032 to 2033 are a $1 to $10 million Bitcoin. Bitcoin is incredibly finite, and you have to always remember that Bitcoin is for you. Bitcoin's for the people. Bitcoin's for the masses. This has been a gigantic topic because I see no one else discussing this, because I think in some ways it's meant to be relatively hush-hush from the people who are buying all the Bitcoin. Why do you think they're buying all of this brand new asset class up? Why do you think they're buying all of it and refuse to tell you anything about it? A lot of the news that we keep getting from some of these companies has been made public by force It's because of SEC filings and regulations that these people have had to tell us that they were actually buying like physical Bitcoin and then also buying fragments or whatever shares of the actual Bitcoin ETFs. Doesn't it seem a little weird that all these rich people are buying up this thing that's meant for you, that they're predicting is going to $15 million? We are 15 years, give or take, into the Bitcoin story, the Bitcoin saga. 15, 16 years almost. The next 15 years are going to be some of the craziest years of your life. If you haven't put together or grasped in some sort of way what these people are doing and trying to accumulate all of these Bitcoin, you are paying attention. Bitcoin is going to be around for the next 120 years. The idea of, am I too late for Bitcoin? Am I too late to buy this? Is something that's been going on for the more or less around a decade. When Bitcoin was $1,000, people were asking, is it too late? Is that as high as Bitcoin can go? When Bitcoin got to 20,000 and fell back down to 3,000, I remember seeing and making videos and people were like, I think that's it. Bitcoin can't go higher than 20,000 US dollars. People will say the same exact thing in the future about $100,000. They're going to say the same exact thing about $500,000 per coin. It's actually difficult for me to put all of this into words in some sort of way because we go over this every single day, every single 24 hours. I know I've been saying that number a lot, but it's so impactful. If you study something and look at something every single day, every 24 hours, you essentially become a master of it. You learn so much about this thing. We see that all the Bitcoin is being accumulated. We get all this news about MicroStrategy buying up 50,000. Why would they be doing that? It's because they know that there's money to be made in this market. The way that things stand right now at the time of me making this video, if things go as we're expecting them to go over the next 3 months, we will probably see $1 million Bitcoin before any of us are actually ready for it. And I mean between this year and the next 3 years. The accumulation level, you don't understand. The accumulation levels are so crazy that the market cannot sustain being this low. Do you remember in 2020 and 2021, for those of you who were not here, we had a lot of discussions about Bitcoin hitting $100,000. All of the metrics, all of the analysts kept on saying that we were going to go past 100,000 because it's not even that the market was calling for it. All of the metrics, all the new people, the amount of money that's flowing through Bitcoin every single day, the amount of people who are turning on their mining rigs, who are mining it, the countries who are accumulating it, and that's years ago. Where we are, even at the beginning of 2024, we had never experienced a situation where a company or companies were buying 13 times the amount of Bitcoin that was being mined per day. 13 times. That literally equates into a 13x price movement. It's impossible to buy up this. And we were going over this in January, February, March, April, May, June, July. We kept on going over it, and I kept on saying Bitcoin is not going to remain at 14,000. Bitcoin's not going to remain at 20,000. Bitcoin cannot sustain being at 33,000. Bitcoin cannot stay at 45,000 forever with these levels of accumulation. It's mathematically impossible. And upon the news of us hearing in the last 4 to 5 weeks, the other countries and states and provinces and companies and institutions who are now in the last 4 to 5 weeks jumping into the space, the new Bitcoin ETFs being created, the countries who are accumulating right now, this is going to be life-changing. And I think a lot of the "am I too late" comes from the idea of the human mind understanding exactly how much 100,000 is. You see the previous price and you go, now, I must be too late. When we get to $1 million per Bitcoin, there will still be people asking, am I too late? Bitcoin is about to absorb the entirety of the US dollar. Do you understand what's currently going on? We are witnessing hyper Bitcoinization. This time period will be in the history books as the end of the US dollar, the gradual, rapid decline of the dollar, of fiat currencies, as Bitcoin continues to gain dominance and prominence around the world. You are earlier than you've probably ever been into this market. We are, like, when I say we're going places, I really need you to understand and get it through your skull as to why every person with money is flying into this market at record speeds. Why we're hearing about a company buying $4 billion in a day. Why we're hearing about the expectations at the end of the ETFs are going to hold 1.5 million to 2 million Bitcoin by the end of 2025. There's not enough Bitcoin for everyone on the planet, and there's not enough Bitcoin for the United States. Do you understand that? The US is never going to have 1 million Bitcoin unless they've secretly been buying behind the scenes this whole time. Because the moment they begin to buy, everyone is going to... You thought a 13x per day at the beginning of the ETFs was something? Imagine when the largest economy on the planet tries to accumulate. What do you think? You think everyone's going to slow down their purchases? We're going to have a day where you hear that the ETFs pulled in 50x the amount of Bitcoin that was mined that day. MicroStrategy is getting closer. One company is getting closer to having 1 million Bitcoin. It took them 3 years. What do you think the next 3 years are going to be like? Do you think they're going to slow down? You think MicroStrategy's done? You think BlackRock's done? You think Fidelity's done? Where do you think this is all going? Think about the time frames that everything that you've been seeing. All this madness happened within the last 12 months. 12. Remember I said at the middle of 2024, I said, I can't imagine what 2027 is going to... Think about it. What is 2027 going to look like in this market? You know how much Bitcoin is going to be left? That's a zero in case you couldn't tell that. You can't accumulate at these levels forever. Like, it's actually drying up. So you are early. You're not here on the first day of class, but you still made it before we even remotely get to graduation. You have time, but not that much time. And that's something that really needs to be expressed a lot more in this space, because I see other crypto people, crypto YouTubers, no one talks about it. No one talks about the madness that's actually happening. It's usually like from the vantage point of like just prices. You're not understanding. The United States of America, individual states in America are going to start accumulating Bitcoin. They're not investing in the US dollar. They're not investing in gold. They're choosing to put hundreds and millions and billions of dollars into this brand new asset class that people are expecting is going to do another 1,000x in price. So I hope everyone out there has paid attention. We've been going over this for a while. Video wasn't as intense as I assumed it was going to be. I can feel like the energy like in the back of my head because I know what's happening. And I know that other people don't. Not saying you particularly, but you understand what I'm saying? Imagine hearing that Apple's about to have a large acquisition of 15 companies, and you try and tell your friends and family and no one cares, they go, wow, that's going to be pretty cool for them. And you try and explain what it's going to do to their stock and no one cares. That's what it feels like to me. You know that there's going to be a brand new housing development. You know what they're going to cost, and you know what the price is going to be in a couple of years for real estate in that area. You tell everyone you know, and they go, oof, that's good for the apartments. We're going to have more of them. It's this, the world is going to change so fast, and I need everyone to be a part of it, because the amount of people who are going to be left behind is staggering, like absolutely, like terrifyingly staggering. But I think there's maybe no way around it, just because I think people like to wait and see. I do think people like to wait and see for things to happen, like I said before, so that they can kind of complain about it. Ah, man, why didn't I get into that before? You have time now. You have time tomorrow. You have time the day after. You might even have some time a year from now. These numbers won't last forever. Like, Bitcoin's not going to stay this low. We know that it's going to skyrocket. You know that Bitcoin's going to take over gold. You know that Bitcoin's going to overtake $1 million per coin. You know it's going to happen. Don't sit there and lie to yourself. Yeah. Hope everyone's along for the ride, because every other rich person seems to be. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and paying attention. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.